Hello, I am Sharon Brown, Associate Professor in the Sweeney Program of Construction Management. This is a video built with AI and edited by me. In this video, I will walk you through how I have used AI to improve content in my course. This is just one example of the work I am doing. At the end of the presentation, I will have links to my other work. I had a panel scheduled lecture for my building systems course. I had been teaching a version of it for years. It was technically solid, but I wanted to shift the focus on the construction manager's role versus the understanding of the engineering process. What I am going to walk you through today is exactly how I rebuilt that lecture using AI as a collaborator, not as a shortcut, as a thought partner. And more importantly, I want to show you the moments where the AI was wrong and where 30 years of industry experience is what made the final product accurate. Here's what I started with: 19 slides, panel sizing, wire gauge selection by ampacity, MCA, MCB, and FLA for motor circuits, phase load balancing across buses. If you teach electrical, you recognize all of it. It is correct content, every bit of it. The problem is that this is electrician content. My students are construction managers. They are not going to size a panel on a job site. The electrical engineer already did that. What my students need to do is walk up to a completed panel, open the door, read the schedule, and tell me whether what is installed matches what the drawings say. Those are two completely different learning outcomes. And my original lecture was built for the first one, not the second. Here is the exchange that set the scope for everything that followed. I told the LLM, I am rebuilding this panel's schedule lecture to focus on the CM field role of reading, verifying, and managing, not the engineering side. We have already covered Ohm's law, the power formula, and voltage drop. Given that foundation, what content belongs in this lecture, and what should be cut, the goal is a CM who can walk up to a panel on a job site and know exactly what they are looking at. Take a second to read the response on screen. It called it a circuit design and panel sizing exercise, which is exactly what it was, and said that is what an electrician needs, not a CM. And then it told me what was worth keeping. The power formula connection watts divided by volts equals amps was worth one slide because it connects what students already learned to what they see on a panel schedule. That is it, one slide. Now I want to be clear about what happened here. The AI gave me an honest critique because I asked for one. I accepted it because it was correct. Any experienced CM faculty member would have said the same thing if I had walked into their office and handed them my original lecture. The difference is that this conversation happened in 5 minutes instead of scheduling a peer review. Before building a single slide, we wrote the learning objectives. Objective 1, read a panel schedule and identify circuit numbers, breaker sizes, load descriptions, and voltage. Objective 2, distinguish single pole from double pole breakers and identify which loads require each type. Objective 3, trace a circuit from the panel schedule back to the electrical drawings. Objective 4, determine whether a panel is approaching capacity without performing a full load calculation. Objective 5, recognize common field problems, unlabeled breakers, as-built discrepancies, capacity creep, and know what to do. That fifth objective is the one that matters most for this audience. A CM student does not need to calculate panel capacity. A CM student needs to know when to call the electrical engineer. This is the slide I want you to pay closest attention to, because this is where the AI was wrong and where field experience is what caught it. The AI built a panel diagram for slide 5 showing no two-pole breakers. Read the exchange on screen. I flagged it immediately. I wanted my students to see a 50-amp double pole. The AI updated it immediately. Here is what this moment demonstrates. The AI produces content quickly, but may not include all the details of your lecture. That is the only reason the final slide is accurate. There were 3 other judgment calls on this lecture that came entirely from teaching experience, not from the AI. I removed module numbering, I cut phase load balancing, and I added a power formula slide. The AI executed all 3 changes. I decided all 3. Here's what came out of this process. 3 deliverables, a 20-slide lecture deck in a consistent visual format, learning objectives, a panel diagram with a real double pole breaker, the power formula connection, 3 field problem slides, an AI prompt studio for students, and a deliverable brief with a rubric. Instructor lecture notes to share with the team of lecturers and adjunct who are teaching the course with me. The notes have 1 section per slide with talking points, field examples, common student questions, and discussion prompts, and a HeyGen video script for students, 2 minutes and 30 seconds long. The hook puts a student in an internship situation. The video teaches them how to do it. The video walks them through that exact scenario using everything covered. The total time from deciding to rebuild the lecture to having all 3 deliverables ready was 1 afternoon. Now I want to give you something you can take back to your own courses. 3 steps, in this order, every time. Step 1. Diagnose the audience before building anything. Not what the topic covers, what the student does with it in the field. That single question, is this content right for a CM student, or is this electrician content, is what shaped this entire module. Ask it before you open a slide deck. Step 2. Write learning objectives that are solid. If you cannot describe what the student does with this knowledge, the objective is not finished yet. Step 3. Correct the AI with your experience. This is the step that most faculty discussions about AI skip entirely. The AI is fast. It is also wrong in ways that require expertise to catch. The single pole breaker versus the double pole breaker was invisible to the AI. Your expertise is not replaced by this process. Your expertise is what makes the output usable. I want to be direct about what the AI actually contributed here versus what required faculty judgment, because I think a lot of the skepticism about AI in teaching comes from imprecision about this question. The AI diagnosed the wrong audience immediately, drafted the learning objectives, built 20 slides in a consistent format, wrote the talking points and field examples. All of that was fast. All of it required review and, in several cases, correction. What required faculty judgment, deciding the original lecture was wrong for CMs that came first, and it came from me. Designing the learning objectives, catching the breaker, removing module numbering that did not align with my course, and cutting phase load balancing. This is not an AI story. It is a faculty expertise story that used AI as a tool. The distinction matters, especially when you are talking to colleagues about whether this is worth your time. I will close with the question I kept coming back to through this whole process. Which lecture do you teach that needs a refresh? Most of us have one, content we inherited from another faculty member or from our own graduate training that is technically correct and pedagogically misaligned. With that question, once you know who you are teaching and what they need to be able to do in the field, the AI becomes genuinely useful. Ask it whether your content is right for your audience. Write objectives with it that are observable and field testable. Then correct what it gets wrong, because it will get something wrong, and you will know it when you see it. If you want to talk through how to apply this to a specific course, I am happy to do that. My contact information and the resources from this session are on the screen. Thank you very much for your time and your attention today. Please check out my YouTube channel, Prof Peaks, for other AI instructional videos created for my students. My Discord for sharing of prompting, https Discord GGG QTDN6R7D, Gumroad for free prompting guides, Prof Peaks, https profpeaks.gumroad.com, LYJPKI.